Hi, everyone. Thank you all for tuning back in. I'm truly excited to share some information that's going to help take your trading knowledge, skill, just trading everything to the next level. So for those of you who are beginners, if you have not already watched my harmonic scanner video, please go ahead and watch that because I will be referring a little bit to it. And for those of you who know what a harmonic scanner is, how it functions, and you've watched my video specifically, then continue to move right along. So I want to explain to you guys a little bit of how to maximize on different information and knowledge that you have of the market to make sure that you're getting into some of the best trades and getting at some of the best entries. So I want us to talk a little bit about a convergence, right? So convergence in the market sense is finding multiple things that basically are confirming that buy or sell for us. But first, I want us to really look at the definition of convergence. It refers to two or more things coming together, joining together, or evolving into one. And that's what we're doing here. We want to see how all these things connect at about the same point or area, because we understand that in the market, support and resistance isn't a specific number, it's the area, right? Our all that information of where we buy and sell is within a specific area, not exactly a specific price point. So we want to find things that are converging to confirm this sell for us in this specific example. So right now, what we're looking at is a GJ on the 15-minute time frame. And so based off of the setup that GJ has, we know that this green line here is some type of resistance. Resistance, I want you to think about it as like the ceiling, right? And the market wants to go past that point, but for some reason it can't. It hasn't broke through that resistance. So what happens is it's going to drop. So if we were to go onto a higher time frame, let's say even the 4-hour, we can see that there was a point of time in the past that the market attempted to, bypass that area, but it just couldn't, right? Over here as well, it tried to, but it failed. And over here, there was some type of reaction. So this pretty much just gives us different types of information, letting us know that this area, right, this price point area has some type of resistance and the market has some type of reaction there. So when the market came to this point, we were expecting it to fall. That was one thing to help us understand that, you know what, this might be a great place for us to enter in for that sell. Now, if we look here on the RSI, we understand that when the market is up around this area, we're looking for selling opportunity, because we know that in trading, right, the goal is to sell high, buy low. And at this point, the market has reached a certain level of high. It has been overbought and it is going to fall. It is time for us to sell this pair. And so this happening over here is another great confirmation, right? And is forming some type of convergence for us to understand that, okay, right, we are looking for a setup for the sell in the market. One last thing that I do want to point out here specifically is this harmonic pattern that's drawn. We have D at the top, and where D is where our action is going to be happening. And so it's letting us know that at this point, we are looking to sell in the market. So the beauty in this is that this is confirming our entry along with the RSI and along with the resistance that we have here, creating a convergence, right? Confirming a number of different things that are all saying, you know what, this is a great time for us to sell GJ. Now, the opposite of convergence is divergent, right? Convergent or convergence, and divergence or divergence. So it could be a tongue twister, it could be a mouthful, but divergence is two or more things that are saying the opposite thing, right? So normally we can just pick two things that are saying the opposite thing. And I want us to look at a different pair to basically see that, right? And so this here is UJ. We're looking at it on the 15-minute time frame. And so sometimes the same way convergence is letting us know, hey, this is a good time for us to really get into this trade, divergence can really still do the same, right? Where we have one thing saying one and another thing saying the opposite. So I'm going to give you guys an example here. I'm going to go and I'm going to switch my tool to the vertical line. I'm going to make it a little bit darker just so we can see it very clear on the screen. So this is kind of what's happening here, right? So I'm going to put a line right on D, right along D, and I want to put another line along the RSI that matches up with D. right? And then I'm going to put a line right, I'll put a line right here in the market, and then I'm going to match it along in the RSI right here. So what I'm going to point out is a few different things in here that I see is not matching up. Okay, we have this here. So I'm marking up the same points, right? So along this line, I'm matching this line up, but what we're focusing on is the same exact point, right? We're focusing on the same exact point, and then we're going to focus on this point, and we're going to focus on the matching point right here, right? So price is right over it, so it's a little bit hard to see exactly where I'm pointing, but we're just more focused on the area as opposed to what the formation looks here. So I want us to go back and grab a trend line, and let's make it red so it can really stand out. And I'm gonna make it super thick. So in the market, right, we can agree, right, if you're looking at this with similar eyes to mine, we can agree that the market started from C, went down, it went sideways, it went down over here where this arrow is. It did something maybe along sideways. We can't really see, but it looks like some sideways action. And then it went down and it ended up here at D after, you know, going sideways for a long time. So when the market's going sideways, that's known as consolidation. So we have consolidation, we got a drop, consolidation, a drop, a little consolidation, a drop, a lot of consolidation. And then we have D here, right? So cool, no problem. So we can agree that from this arrow up here and this arrow down, the market went down, right? From this top arrow and this bottom arrow, the market had to go down to reach those points. So now if we look in the market where this arrow is, right, where this arrow matches up and where this matches up, the market actually isn't going down, it's actually going up, right? Can we agree that we see that point? Right? So what happened in the RSI is we have the market pretty much was up here at C, right? We can see it matching up with C. We're up here, we have some consolidation, we drop. I think we can agree with that. We have some consolidation. However, in the RSI, we got a rise. In the market here, the market actually went sideways, but in the RSI, it went up. Then we have a drop, right? That matches, we have a drop. And then here we have a consolidation going slightly down, but for some reason here in the RSI, we have the market going up, right? And then we have some type of drop, the market goes up and it comes down. However, we can agree that within this point and this point, the market is going slightly down as opposed to this point and this point where the market is slightly going up. This right here is divergence, right? Our market structure up here where the candles are doing their thing, and the RSI, which stands for Relative Strength Index, which is letting us know the strength of the market, is actually supposed to mimic the movement of the candles. However, it's not mimicking the movement of the candles. It's doing currently the opposite right here. So this is letting us know that for some reason, it's not saying the same thing, right? We're not seeing convergence, we're seeing divergence because they're doing opposite movement. However, this opposite movement is pretty much giving us information, and it's saying because right now we're not making the movement look the same, that's an insight for us to get into the trade, right? A good time for us to get into the trade to go the opposite way. So a great way to see this is basically if the market is showing opposite on the bottom half of the RSI, we're looking for a buy. And if it was the top half that had something different, right? If it was happening up here along the highs, then we would be looking for sells. So basically, I'd like to box, okay. So basically, we're focusing on the lows that the market created, right? Because we know that in an uptrend, the market is creating higher highs and higher lows. And in a downtrend, the market is creating lower lows and lower highs. So essentially, whatever the RSI is showing you, Where that divergence is happening is where you want to take that trade. So because when the market is oversold, meaning the market has went down to a certain point and is the RSI numbers are very low, right? And we're having some action on the bottom half of the screen, right? So these lows are different. That means the action is happening on the bottom of the screen. We're essentially going to be looking for buys in the market, which is what we see kind of happening right now, right? We see that the market is slowly starting to push up in this buy. And so we have this buy setup that's happening right now, right? This buy setup that's happening right now and actually push the market up about 42 pips already, which is really, really good. So I hope this helped you understand a little bit of how divergence and convergence works. And using it in the harmonic scanner can be truly helpful and beneficial for you to find better entries and to be able to, make sure that you're entering trades when they're actually ready to take off. So thank you all for tuning in, right? Let me know how this works for you. Let me know if this helped you catch some trades. If you have any questions or any topics you'd like me to cover, leave a comment below in the comment section. And I will be happy to share more tips and tricks to help you maximize in the market just by understanding little things. So thank you all. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.